Ooh, wow, that's a really nice looking spray sealant. I guess we should test you, huh?
Bad bitch, face card never did. Slash waist pretty petite. Who is she like, babe? It's me. French kiss make it say we.
Hello, and welcome back to a very special ranked review. And I say special because this isn't technically a spray sealant, which is what we've been doing with ranked reviews so far. It is technically a detail spray. So I still can't come up with a way to test detail sprays in this same setting that I test spray sealants because they have cleaning abilities, and I can't seem to settle on what I want to do with it. But this product has been hyped like crazy, and I finally got my hands on it and set up panels and did tests and all that stuff. So I wanted to run it through ranked anyway because it kind of replaced the spray sealant that they used to make, ceramic gloss, which I sort of famously don't really care for. And so what we're doing today is putting it through ranked, but not in a way we've done with the other competitors so far. And for that, I don't know if I'm going to put its score in the sheet because its classification and the way we've done the testing is not quite the same. It's very, very similar, but there's some other things in here, like other competitors in this one video for very specific categories, basically the gloss and fill and the hydrophobics and chemical resistance. So yeah, now this is also a blind test, so I am not telling you which product is in which spot. And there is two gloss panel sections done. Both the gloss panels were used. We're comparing this twice, and you'll be looking at both sides at the same time. So I wanted to explore a bunch of options with this because of all of the ways it can be used. I wanted to compare it to both things like ceramic gloss, which is what it's replacing, but also just good products in the categories that it's going to compete in, which is like hydrophobics, chemical resistance, and that gloss and fill portion. There is also a application section. It's just the whole door. I just did one whole door instead of taping it off because I'm not looking at anything else. So we do check that to see how it applies in general. And then, yeah, get into all the nitty-gritty stuff that everyone likes to argue about. But yeah, because of all of the Kool-Aid drinkers and Kool-Aid ragers out there, I am doing this test blind. I want you to just look at the results and judge for yourself. Ignore who makes it. Ignore the color. Ignore the malarkey that's been said probably somewhere or another, or not malarkey said. Just ignore everything out there and just look at the results. Judge for yourself if you think this is a good product. I have some opinions based on all the testing, which I've already done. So let's get into that. We'll meet back here for the wrap-up conclusion and all the revealies. Alrighty, we are applying Envie. We're gonna do the whole door, just because this is a special version. It's been panel wiped. You can see it's grippy, but as far as just to do, the quick detailer instructions, and they call it a detail spray, but it did replace their spray sealant, so we'll see. It says to mist onto the panel. I firmly believe in also wetting your towel, otherwise that first initial sort of hit gets absorbed too much, just to have something in here first. It's got an interesting smell. They say watermelon. It smells like a product I've used in the past. It reminds me of my time using Technician's Choice a little bit. There's a little similar smell to it. Not quite the same, but again, I haven't smelt that in a very long time. But yeah, as far as applications going, it's gone. Sorry, forgot to get my light out. yeah, like it's flashing off right away. And it is slick already, even before flipping, although I spread it over a slightly bigger area. So let's try one more. Yeah, it's already gone. The application is really good. Again, it's a spray sealant, so I don't know how we're going to add it into rank. We'll just make a note, I guess. But yeah, there's just a little bit of haze now that I've done too, but I haven't flipped yet, so. Yeah, it's pretty decent. I'm still seeing there is a little residual haze. So doing 2 in a row like I just did, obviously, maybe not ideal, but if you just do that one pass, it should be okay. But it's basically, if you go heavy with it, you might get a little bit of extra product, and that will be very noticeable if you own a black car. If you don't own a black car, you'll be okay. But yeah, very slick on the application. It's already slick now, so you got to give it a 9 on application, as long as you stay within that less is more variety. You know, 2 sprays was more than enough for this door, and the little pop in the towel just at the beginning to keep it even. But yeah, it's really slick too, so I gotta give it a 10 on slickness. That is slick. That is slick. But yeah, pretty good. I think black car folk, people with the black cars, maybe working in higher heat. Again, I'm not really simulating that. It's about 20 degrees in here, so you might find you're chasing a few, so just go easy on the application. That's why it's getting a 9. But yeah, that's really good. All right, let's move it on. Okay, we are at the gloss and fill panels. I'm just starting with panel number 2, but you know, it doesn't make a difference really. So the way this works for the gloss and fill section is there's 2 competitors per panel, and we'll be looking at them both, comparing to the middle, and ignore the splatters. Something just barfed onto the panel, and it may have been me putting a bottle down too aggressively. So look in between the blobs. I think the other panel is in better shape. Otherwise there's a bottle above somewhere barfing out. So fun stuff, but basically this has been polished to a higher finish, so you can see that the darkness and the hazing is minimal. And then over here is the competitors, 1 and 2, and then untreated. And there'll be 2 of these panels, so we'll do the first one and then the second. I'm going to pull the tape, and basically 1 competitor on each panel is Envie, and it is being compared against another product. So write down, if you want to play along, the panel number and which product you thought was better on that panel, and then I will reveal what product it is, and it was what product was Envie and what it was against at the end. I'm sorry, I'm a big tease, but let's get into this because we're kicking on time here. So the middle is good, ignoring the bloobs up there, and then down here you've got the line here for your treatment. Right here is where the tape's pulled. And I will tell you right now that this side, in my opinion, doesn't look that great. If we come over here, oops, let me hold it the other way, you can see that line is much more defined. And it is darkened up a bit. Now, if I was ranking this, I'd give this like a 2 or a 1. It barely did anything. If I was ranking this, if this was the one I'm ranking, I'm giving this like probably a 4. Or a 5, and I'm gonna look in person here. Yeah, probably 4 or 5, somewhere in that ballpark. So that's what I would give that. But let's move to the next panel and carry on. Right, we're back. This panel has not been barfed on. So this is, again, the high polish area. I tried my butt off to get this to finish nicely. That's as good as it seems to finish. It, you know, maybe the substrate's just toast. I don't know. They're the exact same part, exact same finish, but the other one can finish better. And tape balls for days. Okay, so competitor over here and competitor over here. Maybe spin that a bit. So this guy here is looking pretty good. You can definitely see that there has been a darkening effect applied. Look at the other one before I make a judgment here. They both look pretty dang good. I actually can't remember which one's which. So, blind by stupidity, I guess. They both look pretty good. Might give a nod to possibly this side in person. Let me try again here. It's very hard to do this and dance around the tripod. Now this one's, I think this one's blacker. It just looks darker, but I think this one, it's hard to say, man. It's so hard to say. Maybe this one by a smidge. Pretty close though. I think I'd give this like a 6, 7. Oh God, did I just say 6, 7 for crying out loud? That's 7. I'm giving it a 7. Because it is quite dark. The darkness is closer here. Than here. You know, if I go brighter, brighter doesn't work any better. Yeah, but this is good. This is like probably 5, somewhere around there. Again, you got application variants and different panels and different baseline finish. It's just, you know, try to be as close as possible. But I'm gonna say this guy by a smidge. But yeah. Anyway, let's move it on. Okay, so we have now gone through the application, the two gloss panels, and the hydrophobic chemical resistance. So, first things first, I'm going to go through what panels are which. So, panel number 2, we started with panel number 2. I started on that panel for a reason, and you'll find out now. And that is because that panel had ceramic gloss on it. So that was Envie versus ceramic gloss. And ceramic gloss was on the left side of the screen as you see it. So that was the one that looked much worse in that panel. The Envie was on the right. So Envie seems to have better than average filling type jetting type chops, you could say. I'm not saying gloss specifically because I didn't test for gloss. That's not something I have instruments for or consistent ways of testing to produce those kinds of results. But in the filling test and the darkening, the jetting effect, it gave it about a 5, I'd say there. Moving on to panel number 1, which again, once I put them on there and labeled them, I realized that I should have put ceramic gloss on the first panel because that's the most obvious comparison people are going to make. On that panel, on the left side was Envie, and on the right side was Shiny Wax from Tack System. I still think Shiny Wax edges it slightly, but it's not that far off, genuinely speaking. They both did a pretty good job of darkening, but the Shiny Wax just gets darker, in my opinion. And again, my bottle isn't super fresh, but I've used it enough. I've had the first version and now the second version. And I think if you only care about gloss, or not gloss specifically, but that filling and darkening effect, you want the best visual boost from a spray sealant, it is the best one out there. And because of its pricing, it's actually quite reasonable. We will get into pricing later because that is a hot topic for this and I have some thoughts. But when it came to the gloss and fill panels, Envie did really well overall, comparatively, especially when we're looking through ranked and the standings they are. I will put the link to the sheet at the bottom so you can look at some past competitors. But it genuinely is above average from what I've been seeing. So props there. It is, and you can tell when you apply it, it's got a little more thickness to it. Now, when we went through the application, we did see that it was pretty decent to apply, but if you are heavy-handed with this, it can get a little smeary and a little hazy, and I think people with black cars will see it the most and experience this the most. So work in the shade and use it sparingly and you should be okay. If you're heavy-handed with it and you have a black car, you will be seeing holograms and swirly whirls all over the place from it. It can do it. I can see it on this, and I don't typically see them unless it's pretty bad. So, yeah, keep that in mind. But application and the gloss and fill so far have been looking pretty good. We will go through the scores later. Don't worry. When it comes to hydrophobics, under a mist setting, it looks pretty good. I will put that over on the screen because I filmed it while I was making the intro. The product in the intro was not Envie. I wanted something that slapped, and that was what was in the test. There is 5 sections here, and no, Tack System Shiny Wax is not in this test. But moving from left to right on the screen, left is Sonax's Ultra Slick Detailer, because that is a detail spray. And there's a reason why I put that detail spray in here, and we'll get to that later, but that is on the far left. One in is Envie. The very middle section is Griot's 3-in-1. The inner right section is Colonite Bead Coat, and the far section is Ceramic Gloss. So as you saw through the wash testing, Bead Coat kind of stayed at the top, and its hydrophobics really didn't drop at all. Griot's didn't have a great performance, but it stayed there. Ceramic Gloss, it's just not a good product in my opinion. I don't know. I just don't like it, and it wasn't exactly like it was a cheap product either. Sonax did pretty dang good for a detailer. Again, some of these are full-on spray sealants, some of these are detailers. So for a detailer, its hydrophobics on the hop was some of the best in there. I think it and bead coat were going toe-to-toe there. And it held on pretty well after the 5 hits. You may have noticed that the foaming trigger I normally use for this is missing. It's because it caved in. I bought that like 15 years ago, probably, getting up there from like Auto Obsessed. And it finally caved in. It just starts barfing everywhere. So I just put in a regular Zep trigger. So it's just one big pull because it pushes out quite a bit of product. Yeah, Sonax surprised me for a detail spray. It did quite well. Envie was okay. And we'll get to that in the scoring now, because that's kind of what we're going to do. But yeah, I'm going to leave price to last, because that's where it's not clear to me. Application, I think, as I said in the video, it is a 9 out of 10. It's really not a hard product to apply. It's slick on the first go around. After just a bit of spreading, it slickens up pretty quickly. And on the flip, it's very slick. And as long as you use it sparingly, the wipe off is okay. So application's a 9 out of 10. It loses that 10 out of 10 because it can smear if you're too heavy-handed, and not that heavy-handed. Like, yes, a second go around on one panel is a little excessive, but once your cloth's saturated, you can get into that realm as well. So my foot's falling asleep. So yeah, 9 out of 10 there. When it comes to slickness, it's a 10 out of 10. It's immediately slick after the second wipe. It slickens up a lot even when you're spreading it around. And I, walking back and forth before I got to this part of my day, because I just did all this testing tonight, it's very slick. So 10 out of 10 on slickness. It's no issue there, giving it a 10. Hydrophobics, under a mist setting, you can get some round beads with, don't do it right away. I've seen that, it didn't look good. Give it some time to breathe, give it a day, overnight. And in the mist setting, you can get round beads, which whoop-de-doo, most products can. Under the shower setting, it wasn't that great. I'm giving it a 6. It's kind of a smidge better than the Griots, I guess you could say. But it's nothing super impressive. If it's like Sonax and bead coat on the shower setting, that's hydrophobic. That's, mist makes things hydrophobic, but that one didn't look as good as what I was expecting it to. A lot of people hummed and hawed about it, but under the mist setting, you can be beady, but not under the shower. So that's that. Chemical resistance, it didn't seem to drop too much over the run, because again, its hydrophobic performance under the shower setting is not like Sonax levels. So I'm giving it an 8. It seemed to still be there, still moving stuff off. It was still hanging around. So, and that doesn't really surprise me. Most products coming out these days have factored in chemical resistance testing into their design. So yeah, it did pretty okay. I think Sonax overall, for other reasons we'll get to, I would take in this instance, but it did drop a little more, but it started much higher up. And it still was quite high even at the end there, considering. Gloss and fill, as we said earlier, it's a 5. It's been discussed long enough now. It does a decent job. It's above the average. So if you are looking for a really easy to apply with some gloss and fill performance type stuff, this is up there. It's easier to use than Texas Shiny Wax, but it is not something that it is. Bottle is a 2 out of 2. The trigger has not leaked on me, so that passes because it's adjustable. It's a Tokol trigger. Everyone knows what they're like, what they do. It seems to mist pretty acceptably, so and you can adjust it. And it's a typical bullet bottle. There's nothing wrong with them. The label is also another 2 out of 2. It has the relevant instructions for the 2 ways you can use it. And I think you can do more, but at least 2 different types being your main ones. It's fine. It's got all the info you need. It's legible. They don't seem to screw up their labels. Price. This is where I have an issue with this product. It is a detail spray. It is not a spray sealant. It shouldn't be $32.99 Canadian. I don't know what the US price is. If editor me isn't feeling lazy tonight, he'll put it on screen. But $32.99 is spray sealant pricing. A gallon is $138.99. in Canada. This is all from Carzilla. All the pricing I'm going to show you in a second is all from Carzilla. So it's all buying from the same place. This is all MSRPs, ignoring sales and stuff. It's just like, it's got strengths. Its application and slickness is great. Its filling abilities are good, not great, good. Compared to the average, especially, it's good. Those are all well and good, but this is a $25 to $28 product, in my opinion. This is not $32.99 or $138.99. This is why I say this. Again, I haven't tested in this aspects some of these products. One of these I have, not quite in this way, but you can find a video for me on it, and I'll tell you what it is in a second. But we'll look at Amplify, for example, because that's a very popular ceramic detailer. It's $21.99 for 16 ounces. That's $11 less. Its gallon is $69, nice, $99. $138.99 to $69.99. This might have some more gloss than it, maybe. I haven't looked at that. Slickness-wise, they're both pretty close. I think Amplify's got a better scent. They'll both mess up a towel, so it's not like there's a pro or con there. That's a really hard comparison, and it gets worse. Like, Amplify is good because you can get a gallon in 16 ounces. It's the same units to measure. But if you look at Sonax, $22.99 for 750 mils. No gallon option from what I can understand, because it's more of a retail focused product. But Sonax doesn't market and sell all they have equally across the world. So there may be places, there may be listings for this where you can get it in like a 5 liter, because Sonax doesn't do gallons, they do 5 liters. And that pricing, I'm sure, will be even better. But $22.99 for 750 mils versus 473 mils for $32.99 for that hydrophobic performance. And I can guarantee you the filling abilities are equal from my experience in the past. I'm remembering the videos, but it is good on Sonax. It is slick. It is easy to use. It smells nice. The trigger works well. It's not adjustable, so I would technically knock a point, whatever, but they've got it. It's what I would want when I'm using it, at least. It's a solid detailer, and it is a much better value, and it will do what this thing can do. And it seems to last better, or it seems to last okay in the real world. It's a genuine month and a half, 2 month product for a detailer, and for that price, I won't buy this for that. I just wouldn't. I did purchase this. Nobody sent this to me for free or anything like that. You know, I will play around with it more and I will use it. I don't think it's a bad product in a lot of its aspects, but the pricing is it's too much. It's too much. So, yeah. So that is this very special ranked review. What do I have coming up? I have no idea what I have coming up. There's something. But yeah, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.